The card at the checkout beeped and declined. I didn't feel panic, I felt annoyed. Because the money is there, but it disappears so quietly you can't even name what's controlling your cash flow. I stepped aside, opened my banking app, and saw what I keep seeing with people over and over: tiny charges, total chaos, no system, and that feeling like you're working, but the results keep leaking out. In this video, I'll break down 3 business models built for 2026 that you can actually start without magic. The first one is calm and straightforward. The second is stronger because it gets you to money faster. And I'm saving the third one for the very end on purpose. It's the most valuable option, and if you understand the principle, you'll gain a lever most people never use. Comment which of the first 2 fits you best, and why. The first model is a financial concierge for freelancers and self-employed people. In simple terms, you're not teaching people to get rich. You bring order to someone's money so they stop feeling like it's disappearing into thin air. In 2026 that sounds boring until you realize how many people earn decent money but live in a fog: taxes handled at the last minute, late fees, subscription clutter, mixing personal and business spending, and zero clarity on cash flow, what this actually looks like in real life. I come in as at financial administration. First I build the full picture: income streams, recurring expenses, debts, subscriptions, taxes, mandatory payments, and goals for the next 3 to 6 months. Then I set up a system, separate accounts or cards by category, rules for automatic transfers, a calendar for required payments, a simple spreadsheet or app for tracking, and most importantly a short weekly check-in routine that people actually do, not a one-day I'll start planner where it works. Anywhere income is uneven: freelancers, marketers, designers, editors, ad specialists, consultants, service providers, small sole proprietors, micro teams. Especially when money comes in chunks but spending happens every day. You don't argue with the client's lifestyle, you build a system so their lifestyle stops fighting their finances. How long it takes to learn. If you're starting from zero, you can get to a basic. I can take my first client level in about 2 to 4 weeks: personal finance fundamentals, common expense patterns, simple tracking tools, budgeting logic, and cash flow basics. To feel confident and not freeze in real cases, give yourself 6 to 10 weeks of practice, because this isn't about formulas, it's about messy reality: irregular income, surprise debt, subscription creep, taxes, seasonality. The real skill is asking the right questions and driving the client to an outcome. 5 pros. 1. Fast entry: no inventory, no team, no product, you start with a skill and a process. 2. People pay for relief: chaos turning into a system is emotionally valuable. 3. Repeatable: the same issues show up across clients, so you build templates and get faster. 4. Long-term retention: many clients want monthly support to review, adjust, and stay on track. 5. Scales into a studio: over time you can hire help for data gathering and routine work while you focus on strategy and the client conversation. For cons you can't ignore. 1. Trust is the main barrier. People won't share numbers with someone who has no credibility, so reputation matters. 2. Responsibility is heavier. You deal with money and stress, mistakes hurt more than in most services. 3. Clear boundaries are required. You must separate systems and tracking from areas where a licensed tax legal professional is needed. 4. Selling is proof-based. Early on you'll need cases and process demonstrations, otherwise you look like just another advice person. Compared to a normal life and a normal schedule, this model doesn't demand 12-hour days or living like a startup founder, but it does demand discipline and strong boundaries with clients. My overall score, 7/10. The second model is much stronger than the first: a broker for buying small, profitable businesses. Not an investor, not an owner, the person who connects the buyer and the seller and drives the deal all the way to money. In 2026 there will be more of these deals than most people realize. Owners burn out, move, switch industries, and the business is still working, they just don't want to carry it anymore. That's the window. Not for rich people, but for anyone who can find, verify, and package a deal what this actually is. You search for micro businesses with clear profit, local services, small online projects, studios, simple e-commerce, and service companies with steady leads. Then you do the most valuable part, you turn the numbers into something a human can trust. Not here's revenue, but where the leads come from, the margin, how many repeat clients, what keeps profit stable, and where the risks are. Then you find a buyer who wants ready-made cash flow, and you guide both sides through negotiation, due diligence, and the final agreement. You get paid a success fee, a percentage of the deal, or a fixed advisory fee plus a smaller percentage where it works. Offline, salons, repair services, delivery operations, small studios. Online, small stores, paid newsletters, niche media projects, tiny agency teams, micro SaaS at a small scale. The key is this: it works best when the business isn't perfect, but it's stable, and selling it is easier for the owner than dragging it forward, how long it takes to learn. You can build the fundamentals in 3 to 6 weeks, reading a simple P&L, asking the right owner questions, knowing what metrics and documents to request, estimating payback, and handling negotiations. To actually start closing deals, you usually need another 1 to 2 months of real practice, because this is not textbook work, it's calls, rejections, bargaining, distrust, deals falling apart, and learning to keep momentum. 5 pros, and this is where you can see why it's almost a full level above the first model. 1. Bigger ticket. One deal can pay more than a full month of support work in Model 1. 2. No need for your own capital. You earn on skill and execution, the buyer brings the money. 3. High perceived value. You save people months of search and expensive mistakes, and they pay for that without being convinced. 4. It scales into a system. A deal pipeline, due diligence templates, a buyer list, over time it becomes a machine. 5. Trust compounds fast. One solid case study brings the next one, referrals move faster here than almost any ad. 3 cons, so there are no illusions. 1. Longer cycle. This isn't money by tonight, from first contact to payday can take weeks. 2. Deals fall through. People change their minds, hide details, get scared of verification, you need emotional stability. 3. Legal boundaries. You must be careful with agreements and paperwork so you don't promise what a licensed specialist should handle. Compared to normal life and time, it's more intense than being a financial concierge because of negotiations and deadlines, but the payoff is noticeably higher. My score, 8/10. And here's the important part, the third model will be even stronger because it's not just running deals and not just organizing money, it gives you a lever that pays again and again, even when you're not stuck in messages all day. Comment this, do you lean more toward deals and percentages or service and subscription? The third model is not a click a button and get money thing. It's the kind of work that only pays off once you stop doing one-off services and step into a system. I describe it like this, you become a business's financial partner on a share of the result. The idea is simple. There are small and mid-sized businesses that already sell, money is coming in, but inside it's chaos, they don't truly understand pricing, they don't track margin properly, personal and business money is mixed, cash gaps are fixed with stress instead of numbers. I don't show up as a guru. I show up as the person who installs financial architecture, what counts as profit, where it's leaking, the real margin by product, what cash flow looks like week to week, where the leaks are, and where you can actually expand the stream. Then comes the most important part, how you get paid. I don't sell hours. I agree on a small fixed fee to start and do the work, and then a share of the improvement, a percentage of added profit, a percentage of savings, a percentage of revenue growth while keeping margin, depending on the deal. And when the system starts working, you get something most people never build, income tied to a process you installed inside the business, not to your time. Where it applies. Almost anywhere there are consistent sales and human chaos, services, delivery, studios, salons, small manufacturing, online stores, agencies, any team that makes money but constantly feels broke. Especially where the owner is tired, but willing to listen if you speak in numbers and show a real 30 to 60-day plan. How long it takes to learn. You don't need to become an accountant to start. You need the basics, how to read a simple P&L, what cash flow actually is, how to calculate margin, how to spot bottlenecks, how to set simple money rules and controls, and how to negotiate a clean, fair share. Realistically, 1 to 2 months to build the foundation and make first attempts, and 3 to 6 months for it to become a skill that doesn't fall apart the moment someone says, "Yeah, but our business is different." There are a lot of upsides here, honestly, you could list them forever. But to keep it real, I'll give you one simple downside so you know what you're walking into: you become dependent on the owner's discipline. If they nod but don't execute, if they hide numbers, if they keep making decisions based on gut feelings, you can burn weeks for nothing. This model rewards people who can not only do the math, but hold boundaries, push implementation, and not get swallowed by someone else's emotions. And here's the question. Is it fair to take a percentage of someone's business if you didn't put in your own money, or is it actually more honest than a fixed fee because you're tied to the result? Tell me how you see it, partnership, or too much. If you zoom out, this isn't about 3 magic buttons. It's about where you want to stand with money in 2026, on the service side, on the deal side, or on the system side, the kind that keeps producing results again and again. Model 1 is the financial concierge. You sell order, you turn chaos into simple rules, and the person finally sees what their real cash flow looks like. It's a calm trajectory, a strong foundation. 710. Model 2 is brokering small profitable business acquisitions. You sell speed and precision, you find it, verify it, package it, and drive it to a deal. More pressure, but a bigger check. 8/10. Model 3 is partnering on a share of the result. You don't show up to talk. You install financial architecture and you get paid not for hours, but for improvement. And if you genuinely commit to it, it becomes the strongest system of the 3, because you stop chasing money and money starts following a process that actually works. Feels like a 9/10. Now here's the question that exposes what's real: which of these would you choose if you weren't allowed to hide behind no time or later? Service, deals, or a result share? And be honest, taking a percentage of the upside, is that fair, or is it too much if you didn't invest your own cash? I want 2 sides to collide in the comments. Subscribe to the channel now. Hit like. Comment which model you're choosing and why. And if you disagree with taking a share of the result, comment that too. I need to see how people think, because next I'm going to show where to start in each model so this doesn't stay just talk.